Hello, welcome to the live stream. Today we're going to be doing a follow along stretching routine for all levels. So whether you're just starting out or you're advanced, you're in the right place if you want to work on your flexibility. So make sure everyone can hear me. Looks like we're all good to go. So today we're going to be going over stretching. I'll show you the exercise or stretch we're going to do, and then we'll do it together. If we haven't met, my name is Greg. I have a degree in exercise science and have been doing this, working with clients for about 10 years. So if you have any questions, let me know in the chat and I'll do my best to answer them. If I don't know, I'll try and find an answer for you. So, try and know a lot. I don't know everything, and if you have some recommendation you want to give, I'd love to hear it too. I'm always looking to learn and help other people. So, if you have anything to say, any comments, concerns, questions, let me know in the chat. But what we're going to start with is a stretch that's actually near and dear to me because it's one that I had to use a lot after I got in a car accident. I got rear-ended and actually all these muscles in here got damaged and tightened and knotted because it bent my spine backwards from here up. So I had to do this stretch to help loosen those muscles in the back of my neck back up to let my spine go back to normal. So this is called a chin tuck stretch. It's great if you have neck tension or if you just feel like you're tight, maybe you work on the computer or are driving a lot. That's very common for the head to come and tense up back here. So the way we are going to do this is you're going to put your two fingers on your chin and then you're going to pull back and away from your fingers, sort of like a turtle pulling its head into its shell. So the goal is to not go up or down, but pull straight back and away. You should feel a stretch in the back of your neck, right back in here. So you're gonna pull for 1 second and then relax, trying to pull straight back. So you might feel a little bit of these muscles engaged. We're actually using these muscles to help stretch these muscles back here. So we're gonna do 10 of those, pulling back and away. Now going straight back. You might do this in a mirror to make sure you're not tipping to the one side or the other. Going straight back away from your fingertips. Shouldn't feel any pain as you're doing this. Should just go to where you feel a light stretch in the back of your neck. This can actually help posture as well, because your head position goes back over the top of your shoulders. Now, a variation to this, instead of putting your fingertips on your chin, you can put your back against a wall and try and push the back of your neck into the wall. Noah YZ says, how do I get taller? So one thing, if you're slouched forward, actually pulling that head back can actually make you a little bit taller. It's not gonna make you that much, but it can be the difference of an inch or two, depending on how far forward you are. So if you do that stretch of pulling your head back away from your fingertips, can actually help elongate these muscles and give you more height. It's kind of unusual, but it does work that way. Carlos says, yo, what's up? Hello. Noah says, do a stretch for legs. Yeah, we are going to get to legs just a second. This is going to be a follow along stretching. I'll show as we go. Hey, thank you, Noah. Appreciate that. Says that he's going to subscribe. So yeah, let's go to a leg stretch. So we'll do a kneeling runner's stretch. So these are for these muscles right here in the front of your hip. So you're going to go into a kneeling position. Now, and then from here, you're going to push your hips forward. So you're going to feel a stretch across the front of the hip on this back leg. Now, it's important you don't arch your back as you're doing this. We want to try and keep those hips flat and just push them straight forward to help open up that hip flexor. If you arch your back, you're actually taking pressure off of that muscle and you don't get that stretch into the hip. So pushing that hip forward till you feel a stretch, and then we're gonna hold that for 20 seconds. If you're just joining us, we're doing a follow along stretching routine, working on flexibility. So holding that stretch, we wanna hold at least 20 seconds. If you have any questions, let me know in the chat. This is a deep hip flexor muscle of the hip. It attaches actually up at the spine, all the way down into the thigh bone or femur. And then same thing on the other side, going into a kneeling position. Noah says, so I play baseball. When I swing, my right shoulder is really tight. How do I fix that? Is your right shoulder tight in the front, or do you feel it tight in the back of the shoulder? Holding that stretch. That's a good question. I need to sort of know what area it is. In front, so right in here. Yeah, give me a moment. So let's go back to standing. So if you're feeling it in here, let's try 2 stretches for that to get these chest muscles. So the first one is going to be for the pec minor, which runs from the front of the shoulder down into your rib cage. So you're going to put your hands behind your back and then push your hands out to the back, trying to get your hands up away from your body. You should feel a stretch in that front of shoulder right across here. It goes from, again, the front shoulder to your rib cage. And then hold that stretch. Padashi, hopefully I'm pronouncing your name right, as greetings from Russia, sports day to all. Hey, welcome, glad you're here. And holding that stretch. So this is for that pec minor. And it runs right across this front here. Now we're gonna get the pec major, which runs from the shoulder in towards the middle of your chest. Hey, Noah, subscribe to the channel. Welcome, Noah. Appreciate you being here. So for the pec major, which runs right across here, you're gonna put your hand on a wall or a door frame, just something that's gonna be secure. And you want your elbow right at shoulder height. So from here, you're gonna turn away from your arm, trying to open up that chest. So you should feel a stretch right across here, across the front of your shoulder and chest. Maybe all the way into the middle, but definitely over here. Now, it's important, you don't want your shoulder to roll forward. You want to try and keep it back and down, so you're really opening up that chest and not rotating backwards. And then hold that for 20 seconds. So you could even do this against a wall, just anywhere where you can push against a flat surface. And then same thing on the other side. Let's switch cameras. That's not going to really get a better shot of this. So going up against the other side, same thing here, and then turning out and away. It's a really good front of shoulder stretch. A lot of times people can be tight in this chest. And then that can cause discomfort in the front of the shoulder because it's closing that space around where the nerve runs. So you have a nerve that runs right through here, and as you rotate forward, it closes off that area so it can pinch right in there. That can cause discomfort in the shoulder. It can, especially as you're up here in swinging the bat. Not a baseball player, so don't judge me on my swing. But if you're up here, it can close off that nerve space. So you can, as we stretch this muscle, it can open up a little bit of that area. All right, so that's some things for the chest. Thanks for the question, Noah, I appreciate that. If you guys have any questions about flexibility or just joining us, we're working on a follow along stretching routine. So I'll show the stretches and then we can do them together. So now we're gonna go back down to the legs. So we're gonna stretch the muscles in the back of the thigh. So for this one, you're going to bring your foot out in front of you with your knee as straight as you can get it. And from here, you're gonna try and bring your chest down towards your toe till you feel a stretch in the back of your thigh. Holding that stretch for 20 seconds at least. You should feel this. This is a muscle called the hamstring. It runs from the back of the knee all the way up to your hip. And these are, it actually goes below your knee and above your hip. So it works at two different joints. So it's a very good muscle to have pliability in. A lot of people, when they injure their leg, it's the hamstring that gets injured. So this is an important muscle to stretch. This is probably the muscle I've pulled the most. I used to train in martial arts, and if I didn't warm up properly, didn't stay flexible with stretching, I would pull this muscle very easily, where I would strain that muscle and have to take time for it to actually heal. Same thing on this side. So leg in out in front, bring your chest towards your toe, feeling a stretch in the back of your leg. Now you don't want to round your back, keeping that back flat, bring your chest forward. Have you guys ever pulled a muscle? And if so, which muscle did you pull? Was it upper body, lower body? For me, I've pulled the hamstrings quite a lot, and that's why I really focus on stretching them, because I know what that feels like and how limiting that is to have a pulled hamstring. Trust me, you do not want to do that. Learn from my mistake. All right, now we're gonna stretch the muscles on the inside of the thigh. These are the adductor muscles of the thigh. They're usually the muscles people think of when they do the splits. So we're gonna work on some split flexibility today. So what we're gonna do is a V-sit and reach. So you're gonna sit with your feet out to the sides as wide as you can. So you might feel a stretch already right in the inside of your thigh. If you do, that's good. Just hold that position. Now, but if you want to increase the stretch a little bit, you put your hands and reach forward between your legs till you feel that stretch on the inner part of your thigh, holding that stretch for at least 20 seconds. Now try and keep your back flat so you're not rounding to the front. You're reaching straight, sort of forward and up with this. So you're really getting that stretch into your inner thigh. Try and keep that constant tension. Oh, I used to do this one a lot more. I've lost so much flexibility in this one because I haven't done it ever, or I used to do it every day. I stopped doing that and I lost a lot of flexibility. It's so much easier to maintain flexibility than it is to regain flexibility. So I've been working on getting this back, but it's slow. And relax. Still working these muscles on the inner thigh. You're gonna bring your feet in together and then pull those feet in as tight as you can to your body. Then with your elbows, you're gonna push down on your knees. and bring your chest towards your feet a little bit. So trying to go forward into your feet, feeling a stretch on the inner part of your thigh. So when I trained in martial arts, what would happen is we would be doing this stretch and the instructor would sometimes come and push down on our back or push down the knees, trying to get more flexibility out of this. Would not recommend doing that, but definitely pushed you into more flexibility, or pushed one into more flexibility doing that way. And relax. All right. So what we're going to do now is a stretch for the lats, which run along the upper back, down in, they actually attach all the way down into the hips and spine. So for this, I'm going to do this with a post, but you could do it with a door frame just as easily. Just anything you can grab onto that's high up. So you're going to try and reach up over the top of your head, grab on, then step away, trying to push your rib cage this direction up towards the ceiling, feeling a stretch along your lats. And then holding that stretch. Now, if you don't have something you can grab onto, that's totally fine. You can just reach over without something to grab and really try and feel that stretch. I would sometimes put your hand here on your hip just to give you a little bit of support. So you're just reaching over to the side. But I find that if you have something to grab onto and lean away from, it gets a little bit more of a stretch into those lats. And holding that for 20. This is a large sheet of muscle that runs across the upper back. Some people, it attaches to your shoulder blades. Some people, it rests against it. And some people, it's completely separate. It's kind of a weird thing. Depending on your genetics, you're one of the three. It's usually about a 30-30-30, so 1/3 of people in each category. And same thing on the other side. Stepping away, feeling a stretch in your lats. You might feel this all the way down to your lower back as well. Get a little bit of that low back muscle, that quadratus lumborum. We're going to stretch that a little more directly now. So for this, we're going to go to the ground. So for the QL, or quadratus lumborum, it goes from your rib cage to your hip. You're going to bring your body straight as you can. So legs out straight, arm and your arm underneath your shoulder. You're going to push up to the side, trying to keep your hips on the ground. And you should feel a stretch right here in your side. It goes from that rib cage to the top of your hip. It's a giant sheet of muscle. It can get very stiff, especially if you sit down a lot or spend a lot of time seated during the day. You might only be able to get to here, and that's okay. Just go to where you can feel that stretch and then hold. So none of these stretches should be painful. They should all feel relaxing, and you can feel tension, but there shouldn't be any pain. If you're just joining us, we're working on follow-along stretches, working for flexibility. Right now we're stretching the low back muscles, that QL, that quadratus lumborum in your side. And then same thing on the other side. Legs out straight, prop up onto your elbow, and then push up as high as you can go, keeping your hips on the ground, feeling a stretch on that lower side in your low back. And holding for 20 seconds. Now, some people have low back pain because this is so tight and knotted. For me, I find that the stretch we're going to do next is actually was more effective for me for low back pain. So we're going to be doing a stretch for the piriformis muscle next. Runs right over that sciatic nerve. If you don't know what I'm talking about, don't worry. It's not anything you have to memorize the names for, just if you're interested. I tend to like to use the anatomy terms just to be more specific. So what we're going to do is a figure 4 stretch. Now this is great if you have low back pain. If it makes it hurt more though, don't do this stretch because sometimes the muscle can be right over the top of the nerve and it can bump into the nerve. The goal of the stretch is to help alleviate that, but if the nerve is already inflamed, it can hurt more, so just be careful. Don't do it if it makes it hurt more, but what we're going to do is a figure 4. So crossing your leg over the top, you're going to bring your knee up. We're stretching this side with the leg crossed over, okay? You're going to grab through and underneath your leg and then gently pull up to the back. You should feel a stretch in this hip into the low back. So this muscle runs right over the top of the nerve, and it can actually cause low back pain if this muscle is tight. You might feel pain down your leg as well. Or if this is tight, you might feel pain down your leg. This is a good stretch for that low back pain, especially that sciatic nerve. Some people the nerve runs over the top, some people it runs underneath, and some people it runs through the muscle. So it sometimes will work, sometimes it won't, based on your individual anatomy. And then same thing on the other side, crossing the other leg over, reaching through, grabbing underneath your thigh, and pulling up to the back. It's called a figure 4 because you're creating that 4 shape with your legs. Holding that stretch for 20 seconds. And relax. All right, so that was stretching for flexibility. If you like this content and know someone that you think could be helped out with that, maybe they have low back pain or neck pain, or just tightness, general tightness and lack of flexibility, go ahead and hit that share button and spread the word. I'd love to be able to help more people with this. And thank you for helping me do that. Thank you for our new subscribers, and I will hope to see you guys next time. We're going to be doing more